Raised my daughters alone as a single father after my wife left for greener pastures. Now she is back, and her husband wants to adopt my daughters. My daughters said, he fits better with our lives, so I let them go. Now they want me back, but I have already moved on. All right, Reddit, grab your popcorn because this one's a ride. 20 years of my life went into raising two girls who weren't even mine by blood anymore, and they chose the guy their mom remarried. Can't say I blame them. Dude probably has more time for school plays than I ever did. But here's the thing. They made their choice. And now that it's biting them in the rear, I'm supposed to drop everything and play daddy again? Yeah, that's not happening. Let me back up. I'm Jake, 45 years old now, work as a logistics coordinator for a regional shipping company here in Pennsylvania. Decent money, regular hours most of the time, and my own house that's actually paid off. Got into this line of work straight out of community college because someone told me supply chain management would always be needed. Turns out they were right. Met Melissa when I was 25. She worked reception at a dental office downtown, one of those places that always smells like mint and anxiety. I'd gone in for a cleaning and she scheduled my follow-up with this smile that made me forget I hated dentists. We got to talking about the Flyers game from the night before, and before I knew it, I was asking her to grab coffee. She was 23, had this energy about her that made everything seem possible, wanted to be a photographer, had all these dreams about traveling and capturing moments and making art that mattered. I thought it was cool that she had ambitions beyond just clocking in and out. We dated for about 8 months before she got pregnant with our first daughter, Hannah. Wasn't planned, but we were both adults and figured we'd make it work. Got married at the courthouse with just our parents there. Nothing fancy, just signed papers and promised to figure it out together. Hannah was born in March 2003. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, and absolutely perfect. I remember holding her in the hospital and thinking this was it. This was what life was supposed to be about. Melissa seemed happy too, at least at first. Our second daughter, Lily, came along 2 years later. Another surprise pregnancy, but by then we'd gotten the hang of the whole parenting thing, or at least I thought we had. Melissa started getting restless around 2007. Hannah was 4, Lily was 2, and suddenly Melissa's photography dreams weren't just dreams anymore. They were this burning thing she couldn't ignore. Started taking classes at the community college, joining photography groups, spending weekends at workshops instead of home. I supported it, worked overtime to cover the extra costs, adjusted my schedule so I could handle mornings with the girls while she pursued her passion. Figured this was what marriage was, supporting each other's goals even when it got hard. By 2009, things were falling apart. Melissa stopped pretending to be happy. Would come home from her photography meetups talking about all these places she wanted to travel, all these opportunities she was missing out on. Started making comments about feeling trapped and stuck in a life that wasn't meant for her. The girls noticed. Kids always do. Hannah would ask why mommy was always on her computer looking at pictures of other countries. Lily started having nightmares about mommy leaving. Turns out the nightmares were prophetic. March 2010, right after Hannah's 7th birthday, Melissa sat me down and told me she couldn't do it anymore. The marriage, the motherhood, the mundane routine of suburban Pennsylvania life. Said she'd met someone through her photography group, some guy named Philip who traveled for work and had shown her what life could be like without obligations holding her back. The obligations were our daughters. She wanted a divorce, wanted to move to Colorado with Philip and find herself through her art. Said the girls would be better off with me because I was stable and reliable, and she wasn't meant to be a traditional mother. I asked if she wanted custody. She said no. Said it would be better for everyone if I had primary custody, and she could visit when her schedule allowed. Just like that, she was gone. Let me tell you about being a single dad to 2 girls under 8 years old while working full-time. It's exactly as chaotic as it sounds. Those first few months after Melissa left were brutal. Hannah stopped talking at school. Lily started wetting the bed again, even though she'd been potty trained for years. Both of them would ask when mommy was coming back, and I had to explain over and over that mommy lived somewhere else now, but still loved them. The lie tasted bitter every time I said it. I learned to braid hair by watching YouTube videos at 6 a.m. before work. Got really good at packing lunches that wouldn't get the girls made fun of. No more mushy sandwiches or bruised apples. Figured out which teachers to email about homework, and which ones would just CC me on everything anyway. My job was understanding, but had limits. Used up all my vacation days in the first year dealing with sick kids and school emergencies. Started bringing work home after the girls went to bed. Catching up on logistics reports while eating leftover chicken nuggets standing at the kitchen counter. Melissa called maybe once a month that first year. Always from some new location. Denver, Portland, Seattle. always with excuses about why she couldn't visit, always with promises that she'd come see the girls soon. Hannah stopped asking about her after the first missed birthday. Lily held out hope until she was 7, then just accepted that we were a two-person family now. The house became our fortress. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, small backyard with a swing set I'd built one weekend while the girls helped by handing me the wrong screws. We had routines: breakfast at 7, homework after dinner, bedtime stories before lights out. Structure kept us sane. I taught myself to cook actual meals instead of just heating up frozen dinners. Found out I was pretty decent at making pasta and grilled chicken. The girls started requesting specific meals, and I kept a list on the fridge so I'd remember their favorites. Hannah became my serious kid, always worried about everyone else, always trying to make sure I wasn't too tired or Lily wasn't too loud. She'd set the table without being asked and remind me when it was time for parent-teacher conferences. Turned into a little adult way too fast. Lily was the opposite, all energy and chaos and questions that never stopped. Wanted to know why the sky was blue and where rain came from, and could we please get a dog even though I said no 17 times. She kept me from getting too deep in my head about everything. They were good kids. Great kids, actually. Did well in school, had friends, participated in activities I could barely afford. Hannah did soccer for a few years until she decided she'd rather focus on art. Lily tried everything: dance, gymnastics, swimming, before settling on volleyball in middle school. I was at every game, every recital, every parent-teacher conference. Sometimes I'd look around at all the two-parent families and feel this weight in my chest, but then one of my girls would wave at me from the field, and I'd remember why I was doing this. Melissa's calls became less frequent over the years. Birthdays would come and go with just a text message and maybe a gift card. Christmas was a card with a generic "thinking of you girls" message. Eventually, even that stopped. The girls stopped mentioning her by the time Hannah hit middle school. When other kids asked about their mom, they'd just say she lived far away. Easier than explaining the truth. Fast forward to 2024. Hannah's 21, finishing her last year at Penn State studying graphic design. Lily's 19, taking a gap year to figure out what she wants to do with her life while working at a local bookstore. Both girls still live at home, not because they have to, but because we're a unit, and none of us saw a reason to change that. Hannah pays me rent from her part-time campus job, even though I told her she doesn't have to. Lily helps with groceries and handles most of the cooking now that she's got the time. I'm proud of who they became despite everything. Hannah's this thoughtful, creative person who makes art that actually means something. Lily's still all energy, but channels it into things that matter. Volunteers at the animal shelter, organizes book drives, has more friends than any person needs. Then one random Tuesday in August, I get a text from a number I haven't seen in my phone for 3 years. Melissa. Hey Jake, I know it's been a while, but I'm back in Pennsylvania. Would love to see the girls if they're willing. I have so much to tell them. My first instinct was to delete it. My second was to ask what the hell she thought she was doing, crawling back after 14 years of basically ghosting her own children. Instead, I just forwarded it to Hannah and Lily with, "Your call, whatever you decide, I support." Hannah responded first. "I'm curious. Maybe we should meet her?" Lily. "Only if you come with us." 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in a coffee shop downtown. Not even a nice one, just a chain place with overpriced lattes, waiting to meet the woman who walked out on her family 14 years ago. She walks in looking nothing like I remember. Older, obviously. Hair's shorter, clothes more expensive. Has this confidence about her that wasn't there before, like she'd finally figured out who she was supposed to be. Behind her is some guy in khakis and a polo. Tall, clean-cut, the kind of dude who probably plays golf and has strong opinions about lawn care. "Jake, girls, this is Cameron, my husband." Husband. Hannah and Lily just stare. I keep my face neutral, waiting for whatever bomb she's about to drop. Cameron sits down like he owns the place, orders some complicated coffee drink I've never heard of. Melissa's talking about how she found herself in Colorado, how her photography career took off, how she's been featured in galleries across the country, how she met Cameron 2 years ago and they got married last summer. Cool story. What does this have to do with our daughters? Then she gets to it. I know I made mistakes. I know I wasn't there for you girls when I should have been. She's looking at Hannah and Lily with this practiced sadness that makes my teeth hurt. But I'm in a better place now. I'm ready to be the mother you deserved all along. The coffee shop feels too small suddenly. Too warm. Like the walls are closing in. Lily speaks first. Voice small. What does that mean? It means I want to be part of your lives again. Real part. Not just texts and cards. Melissa reaches across the table, but doesn't quite touch either girl. Cameron and I bought a house in Harrisburg. It's big, has plenty of space. We'd love for you both to visit, to spend time with us, to build the relationship we should have had all along. Hannah's looking at me, but I keep my expression blank. This is their choice to make. Cameron clears his throat. I know this is a lot to process, but I want you to know I'm fully supportive of Melissa rebuilding her relationship with you both. I'm a family law attorney, so I understand how complex these situations can be. I'm here to support however I can. A family law attorney. Of course. The meeting ends with promises to stay in touch, to plan another get-together soon. Melissa hugs both girls before they leave. They let her, but their bodies are stiff, uncertain. On the drive home, nobody talks. Hannah stares out the window. Lily plays with her phone. I focus on the road and try not to think about what this means. What do you think? I finally ask. I don't know, Hannah says quietly. Part of me wants to be angry, but another part is just curious. Like maybe she's different now. Lily. She seemed nice. Cameron too. Nice. Sure. Over the next few months, Melissa becomes a presence in the girls' lives. Not a big presence, more like a shadow that keeps showing up at the edges. Weekend visits to Harrisburg. Dinner invitations. Texts checking in on their days. She's trying, I'll give her that. Trying to insert herself into lives she abandoned years ago. Cameron's always there too. Playing the part of supportive stepfather. Asking about school, about work, about their interests. Taking them to fancy restaurants I could never afford. Showing them what life could look like with more money, more stability, more. Hannah starts talking about Melissa's photography more. How cool it is that she's made a career out of her passion. How brave she was to pursue her dreams even when it was hard. The word brave almost makes me laugh. Brave would have been staying and being a mother. Lily mentions Cameron bought her a new laptop for her online classes. Top of the line, better than anything I could have bought her. He said I should have the best tools for my education, she tells me over dinner one night. I just nod and take another bite of the meatloaf I made from the same recipe I've been using for 15 years. December rolls around, and Melissa invites both girls to spend Christmas in Harrisburg. Cameron's family will be there. We're planning this whole big thing. You girls should be part of it. Hannah looks at me when she mentions it. We've always done Christmas here, though. Just the three of us. Hey, if you want to go, go. I'm not going to stop you from spending time with your mother. The words taste wrong, but I force them out anyway. They go. Christmas morning, I wake up in an empty house for the first time in 21 years. Make coffee, turn on some football game I'm not really watching, try not to think about what they're doing in Harrisburg. My phone buzzes around noon. Hannah. Merry Christmas, Dad. Miss you. Lily. Mom got us so much stuff. Also, Cameron's brother has a golden retriever, and I'm in love. Miss you. I send back generic holiday wishes and try to enjoy my quiet house. They come back 3 days later with bags full of expensive gifts and stories about Cameron's lake house and his family's traditions. Both of them seem lighter somehow, like they'd tasted something they'd been missing and couldn't quite go back to what they had before. February 2025. Cold enough that my truck takes 3 tries to start most mornings. I'm coming home from work, already thinking about what to make for dinner, when I see both girls sitting at the kitchen table with these serious expressions. We need to talk, Hannah says. Nothing good ever starts with those words. They tell me together, taking turns like they'd rehearsed. Melissa and Cameron want to adopt them. Both of them. Officially. They'd been discussing it for weeks, apparently. How it would work legally since both girls are adults. How it would just be a formality to make them official family. How it wouldn't change anything with me. Except it does, I say, voice flat. That's exactly what it changes. Dad, please don't be like that. Lily's got tears forming. This doesn't mean we love you less. You're still our dad. You'll always be our dad. But Cameron fits better with our lives now, Hannah says quietly. And there it is. The truth underneath all the careful phrasing. Cameron fits better. The guy who's been around for 6 months fits better than the man who raised them for 20 years. I stand up, suddenly exhausted in a way that has nothing to do with the long day at work. Do what you need to do. You're both adults. I can't stop you and I won't try. That's it? Hannah's voice cracks. You're just going to let us go? What do you want me to do? Beg you to choose me? Fight with your mother through lawyers? Make you feel guilty for wanting a different life? I grab my keys. I'm going for a drive. We'll talk when I get back. I don't come back for 3 hours. When I do, both girls are in their rooms with doors closed. I stand in the hallway between their bedrooms. Rooms I painted years ago, one purple and one yellow, because those were their favorite colors when they were 6 and 8. Rooms filled with memories of bedtime stories and homework help and late-night talks about boys and friend drama and everything else that makes up a childhood. This is what single fatherhood gets you. 20 years of sacrifice and structure and showing up every single day just to watch your kids choose the shiny new option the second it presents itself. But here's the thing. I'm not angry at them. Not really. Kids gravitate toward the easier option, toward the parent who shows up with gifts and possibilities instead of rules and responsibilities. Melissa gets to be fun mom who swoops in with a perfect life after I did all the hard parts. Cameron gets to be cool stepdad with money and time and no history of telling them to clean their rooms or finish their vegetables. Of course they want that. I'd want that too if I were them. March comes. The adoption papers are signed. It's all legal and official now. Hannah and Lily are Cameron's daughters too. They still live with me. Still call me dad. But something shifted. Like there's this invisible distance that wasn't there before. Hannah starts spending more weekends in Harrisburg. Lily talks about maybe transferring to a school closer to Melissa and Cameron so she can be near family. Near family. As if I'm not family. As if 2 decades of raising them solo doesn't count once someone richer shows up. I keep my mouth shut. Keep making dinners they sometimes show up for. Keep being available when they need something. Keep being the reliable option while they explore their shiny new life. My buddy from work, Dennis, asks me about it one day over lunch. Man, how are you so calm about all this? I'd be losing my mind. What's the alternative? Make them feel guilty? Try to compete with Cameron's money? I shrug. They made their choice. Only thing I can control is how I react to it. Still, that's cold. Maybe. But coldness is protection. Detachment is survival. April, and I notice Lily's stuff starting to disappear from her room. Not all at once, just little things. Her favorite books. Some clothes. That volleyball trophy from her sophomore year championship. Moving in with Mom and Cameron, she mentions casually one night. Just trying it out for a few weeks. See how it feels. Few weeks turns into permanent by May. Hannah follows in June, right after graduation. Cameron's going to help me find a job in Harrisburg, she explains while packing. Better opportunities there than here. Better opportunities. Right. By July, I'm living alone in a house that used to hold 3 people. Their bedrooms sit empty, except for the furniture I'm apparently keeping as a museum to their childhoods. I still cook dinner for 3 out of habit, then end up eating leftovers for days. Friends try to sympathize. My sister calls every week to check on me. My boss asks if I need time off. Everyone's waiting for me to fall apart. I don't. Instead, I start doing all the things I put off for 20 years. Join a gym. Start taking weekend trips to places I'd always wanted to see. Pick up woodworking because why not? I've got time now. The basement slowly fills with projects. Furniture I'm building just to have something to do with my hands. The girls call occasionally, usually when they need something. Advice on a job application, help figuring out car insurance, questions about tax documents. I answer every time because that's what I do. I'm reliable. But I don't drive to Harrisburg. Don't invite myself to their new life. Don't insert myself where I'm clearly not needed anymore. August. I start dating. Nothing serious, just going out with a woman named Patricia, who works in accounting at a company we contract with. She's 42, divorced, no kids. We go to dinner, watch movies, enjoy each other's company without any complicated history weighing things down. Met her during a routine meeting about quarterly shipping costs. She'd been going over budget reports and made this joke about how my department could probably save money if we stopped overnight shipping office supplies like it was an emergency. Made me laugh. Actually laugh, not the polite chuckle you give coworkers. First time in months I'd felt like an actual human instead of just single dad whose kids left. Started having lunch together in the break room. Nothing planned, just happened to be there at the same time. She'd talk about her weekend pottery classes. I'd tell her about whatever furniture project I had going in the basement. Easy conversation, no pressure, no expectations. When I asked her to dinner, she said yes without making it complicated. No games, no reading between lines. Just 2 adults who enjoyed each other's company, deciding to spend more time together. Our first real date was at this Italian place downtown. Nothing fancy, but not cheap either. She wore this blue dress that matched her eyes, and didn't apologize once for ordering exactly what she wanted, instead of the salad women always feel pressured to get. Ordered the chicken parmesan, ate every bite, then suggested we split the tiramisu. Second date, we went to a movie. Third date, she came over and I cooked. Fourth date, we just walked around the park for 2 hours talking about nothing important. By date 5, I'd stopped counting and just enjoyed having someone in my life who wanted to be there without needing something from me. Patricia had been married for 12 years to a guy who decided he wanted kids after all, even though they'd agreed from day one they wouldn't have any. When she wouldn't change her mind, he left. Found someone younger who wanted the same things he did. Patricia didn't hate him for it. Said people change and sometimes that means relationships end. That perspective made sense to me. No drama, no victim mentality, just acceptance that sometimes people's paths diverge and you have to let them go without burning everything down. She got that I had complicated feelings about my daughters. Didn't push me to talk about it or try to fix it. Just listened when I needed to vent and change the subject when I needed distraction. Perfect balance. It's easy, uncomplicated, exactly what I need. September 2025. My phone rings at 11 p.m. on a Thursday. Hannah. Dad? Are you awake? I am now. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. She pauses. Can I come by this weekend? I miss home. Home. Interesting word choice considering she hasn't lived here in 4 months. She shows up Saturday morning looking tired, thinner than I remember. Wearing clothes I don't recognize. Probably things Melissa bought her because they look expensive and not at all like Hannah's normal style. We make breakfast together like old times. I handle the eggs, she does the toast. We don't talk about anything important, just surface stuff about her new job and my woodworking projects. She keeps glancing around the kitchen like she's cataloging what changed. Nothing changed. That's probably what's throwing her off. Coffee's different, she finally says. Same brand I've always bought. I know. That's what's weird. Everything here is the same. Like time stopped when we left. She's quiet for a moment. Cameron's house. Everything's always changing. New furniture, new art on the walls, new rules about where things go. It's exhausting trying to keep up. I pour her more coffee and wait for her to get to what she actually wants to say. How's life in Harrisburg? I finally ask. Fine. Good. Cameron's great, really helpful with job stuff. She's pushing eggs around her plate. Mom. Meaning? Meaning she's around more than she used to be, but it's like, I don't know. Like she's trying so hard to be this perfect mom that it feels fake. Like she's performing instead of just being. Hannah looks up. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. She keeps trying to recreate memories we never had. Like last week, she suggested we do a mother-daughter photography day, where we'd go take pictures together and bond. But I don't care about photography. I never did. That was always her thing, her dream. And when I told her I'd rather just hang out and watch movies, she got this look like I'd personally insulted her art. Hannah sets down her fork. And Cameron's family is nice, but they're also formal. Everything's a production. Every dinner has to be at a fancy restaurant. Every conversation has to mean something. It's exhausting. Last Sunday, they had this brunch thing. Invited like 20 people. Made this big deal about introducing Lily and me as their daughters. Everyone was so polite and interested, and I had to explain 17 times how Melissa and I reconnected after years apart. Like I was performing in a play about someone else's life. She starts crying then. Not dramatic sobbing, just quiet tears rolling down her face while she stares at her breakfast. I thought having a real family again would feel good, like having a mom who's present and a stepdad who cares. But it just feels wrong, like I'm playing pretend in someone else's life. You don't have to stay there, I say carefully. Your room's still here. I know. But if I leave now, Mom will think I'm rejecting her again. And Cameron put all this work into helping me find a job. I can't just bail on them. Can't bail on them. But bailing on me was fine, apparently. I don't say that, though. Just tell her she's welcome here anytime, whenever she's ready. She spends the whole day. We work on a bookshelf I'm building for the living room. She helps measure and cut and doesn't talk much, but her shoulders gradually relax. By dinner time, she's almost back to being the Hannah I remember. Almost. She leaves around 8. Hugs me longer than normal at the door. Thanks, Dad. For what? For not saying, I told you so. Wouldn't help anything. No, but you'd be justified. She wipes her eyes. I'll call you next week, okay? You better. October, Lily calls. Similar story. Everything's great, Cameron's wonderful, but she misses how simple things used to be. Misses our quiet dinners and terrible jokes, and the way I just let her talk about nothing for an hour without trying to make it into a lesson. Mom keeps trying to bond by taking me to photography exhibits and talking about art, Lily says. But I don't care about photography. I never did. That's her thing. Did you tell her that? I tried. She got all hurt like I was rejecting her passion. Then she spent the next 3 days being really quiet, and whenever I asked what was wrong, she'd say, nothing, I'm fine. In that voice, that means she's definitely not fine. Frustrated sigh. Cameron's easier. He mostly just asks about volleyball and school, but his whole family is so competitive about everything. His brother makes these comments about success and achievement that make me feel like I'm failing at life because I took a gap year. His brother asked me last week what my 5-year plan was. I said I didn't have one, and he literally said, "Well, that's concerning at your age." I'm 19. What 19-year-old has their entire life mapped out? She sounds exhausted. And Melissa keeps posting these photos on social media of us all looking like this perfect blended family. She tags me and Hannah in everything. My friends from home keep commenting how happy we look, and I just want to tell them it's all fake. We're smiling in those pictures. But 5 minutes before the photo, Mom was stressed about lighting, and Cameron was lecturing us about how to hold our shoulders. They're both miserable, but neither wants to admit it yet. November, Melissa texts me. The girls have been asking about Christmas traditions. Would you be willing to share some family recipes and maybe tell me how you used to celebrate? I want to make sure they feel at home. I stare at that message for 20 minutes. This woman wants me to help her create fake memories with children I raised alone. Wants me to give her the blueprint to a family life she abandoned so she can paste herself into it retroactively. I respond, you should make your own traditions. They're adults now. Let them choose what they want. Professional. Neutral. Giving her nothing. December rolls around. Both girls ask if they can come home for Christmas. Not visit for Christmas. Come home. I tell them, of course, they're always welcome. Don't mention that Patricia will be here too. That I've started building a life that doesn't revolve around being their dad. Christmas Eve, both girls show up with enough luggage for a week-long stay. They're quieter than I remember. Older somehow, even though it's only been 6 months since they moved out. Patricia's coming for dinner. I'd mentioned her in passing a few weeks ago, and both girls had seemed fine with it. Now, watching them unpack in their old rooms, I wonder if they actually processed that information. Patricia arrives at 6 p.m. with a pie she made and this bright smile that makes her entire face light up. She's got shoulder-length auburn hair that's going gray at the temples, laugh lines around her eyes, and this way of making even mundane conversations feel interesting. She's wearing jeans and a red sweater. Nothing fancy because I'd told her we keep things casual. Girls, this is Patricia. Patricia, these are my daughters, Hannah and Lily. The word daughters feels heavier than usual. Dinner's polite but weird. Hannah keeps watching Patricia and me interact, like she's studying something foreign. Lily's quieter than normal, pushing food around her plate. Patricia doesn't seem to notice. Or if she does, she's gracious enough not to mention it. Asks about their jobs, their lives in Harrisburg, makes easy conversation that fills the awkward spaces. After dinner, we're cleaning up and Hannah corners me in the kitchen. You didn't mention Patricia was your girlfriend. I said I was seeing someone. Seeing someone is different than... She gestures vaguely toward the living room where Patricia's helping Lily pick out a movie. Then being serious. We've been dating for 4 months. It's not that serious. She's here for Christmas, Dad. That's serious. I set down the dish I was washing. You moved in with Mom and her new husband. You let him adopt you. I'm not allowed to have someone in my life too? That's different. How? She doesn't have an answer for that. Later that night, after Patricia leaves, both girls want to talk. We sit in the living room, same places we'd sit for family meetings when they were kids. Except now there are only 3 of us, and the dynamic is completely different. Dad, we need to apologize, Hannah starts. I wait. We messed up. The whole adoption thing. Moving to Harrisburg, choosing Cameron and Mom over you. Lily's crying now. We thought we were making the mature choice. Thought we were being fair by giving Mom a chance. You were, I say. No, we weren't. We were chasing this fantasy of having a complete family without thinking about what we were giving up. Hannah's voice cracks. You were our complete family. You always were. We just couldn't see it. We want to come home, Lily says. For real. Not just visiting. Living here. Being a family again. And there it is. The request I'd been waiting for. The apology I'd never expected. Part of me wants to say yes immediately. Wants to hug them and tell them their rooms are ready and nothing has to change. Wants to go back to being the center of their world instead of the backup option. But I can't do that. I love you both. You know that. You'll always have a home here. I look at each of them in turn. But things are different now. Different how? You're adults. You made adult choices. You chose to build a life with your mother and Cameron. That's okay. But I can't just be the safety net you jump to when that life doesn't work out. We're not using you as a safety net, Hannah protests. Aren't you? 6 months ago you told me Cameron fits better with your lives. That you wanted to be officially part of his family. Now that it's not working out the way you imagined, you want to come back like nothing happened. We made a mistake, Lily says desperately. Isn't that what parents do? Forgive their kids when they mess up? I forgave you the second you left, but forgiveness doesn't mean I'm going to pretend the last 6 months didn't happen. It doesn't mean I'm going to put my life on hold waiting for you to decide you need me again. The silence is heavy, uncomfortable. The kind of silence that means everyone's thinking things they're afraid to say out loud. What about us? Hannah finally asks. Where do we fit in your life if not here? You're my daughters. That doesn't change. But you're also adults who made choices that showed me pretty clearly where I ranked in your priorities. I'm not going to compete with Cameron and Melissa anymore. If you want to be part of my life, great. But it's going to be on my terms, not just when it's convenient for you. That's harsh, Lily says. Maybe, but it's honest. I stand up. You're welcome to stay for Christmas. Your rooms are here. But after that, you need to figure out what you really want. Not what's easiest or most comfortable, but what you actually want from your life. And I need to keep building mine. Christmas Day is tense. We open presents. I got them both practical gifts, nothing too sentimental. They got me things that feel like apologies wrapped in paper. A nice watch, a leather-bound journal. Things that say, "We're sorry," without using words. Patricia comes over for lunch. The girls are polite but distant. Watching her interact with me like they're seeing their dad as an actual person for the first time, instead of just a parent. Boxing Day, Hannah and Lily pack up to head back to Harrisburg. The hug goodbye lasts longer than usual, both of them crying. We love you, Dad, Hannah says. I love you too, both of you. Always will. Are we going to be okay? Lily asks. Eventually, but you need to figure out your lives and I need to keep living mine. They leave. I watch their car pull away and then go inside to an empty house that doesn't feel quite as lonely as it did 6 months ago. Patricia calls that evening. How are you holding up? Honestly, I don't know. Part of me wants to let them move back in and pretend nothing happened. Another part knows that wouldn't be healthy for any of us. You did the right thing, she says gently. Being a parent doesn't mean being a doormat. Sometimes love means setting boundaries. Smart woman. It's been 3 months since that Christmas conversation. January, February, March of 2026. Passing in a blur of work and woodworking and building a life that's mine instead of defined by being a single dad. Hannah calls twice a week now. Real conversations, not just asking for things. Tells me about her day, her struggles at work, her actual feelings about living in Harrisburg. She started looking at apartments closer to home. Not moving back in, but moving back to the area. Lily's taking online classes and working part-time at a bookstore near Melissa's house. She video calls every few days. Usually while walking the dog, she finally convinced Cameron to let her adopt. Says she's figuring things out, that she needs more time before making any big decisions. Melissa texts occasionally, usually asking about the girls, sometimes trying to make small talk. I keep it brief, professional. We're not friends and we're never going to be. Cameron sent me a message in February. I want to apologize for overstepping. I thought I was helping the girls by offering them a chance at a different life, but I didn't consider what they were giving up. You're a good father, and they're lucky to have you. I didn't respond. Some apologies aren't looking for forgiveness. They're looking for absolution. He doesn't get either from me. Patricia and I are still seeing each other, talking about maybe taking a trip this summer. Nothing crazy, just a week somewhere neither of us has been. She's got this calmness about her that makes everything feel manageable. Makes me remember what it's like to be with someone who chose me, not someone I'm constantly trying to prove myself to. The girls know about her now. Really know. Not just aware she exists. Hannah asked to have coffee with her last month. Just the two of them. No me involved. They talked for 2 hours apparently. Hannah said afterward that she gets why you like her. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.